Alright guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now today is going to be a bit of a sad day because we are going to be getting rid of this entire village down here. The goal is, by the end of this video, to cut all of this out and make it part of the lake so the lake is better and bigger, and then we can start working on putting these around each corner of the lake. Now the reason I'm doing this is because it's kind of inconvenient to have all these things in different spots, and once again it's just really annoying to get around. And once we mine all of this out, we can put everything around the outside and up the upper parts so it looks really cool, and then we can put something in the middle of the lake. Now once again, if you guys have been watching the previous videos, which I recommend go watching before these because it will catch you up, we are working on building a huge tower coming from each corner of the lake into the sky, and we're going to be doing that. It's going to be huge. It's going to be like a mega Eiffel Tower. But in order to do that, we need to clear out this whole area. So we're first going to get started with clearing out, yes, sadly, all of the farms. And what better way to do that than to start with the sugarcane? So let's just get it all in our inventory. Now, while I do mine this, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit more. We are going to be putting all of this stuff into my farming district. So even though we have the iron farm kind of down in the middle of the lake area, it's too late to move that. And so I think I'm just going to leave it there. And if you guys once again haven't been here, the iron farm is right there. Now, the reason I say we're going to keep it right there is because I don't want to move it. Once again, moving villagers just sucks. So we're just going to keep it there. But we are going to move this farming area up right up there, because there's a big mountain and I'm going to build a castle on top of it with it overlooking all the farms, which I think will be really cool. So yeah, we're going to have to get rid of that. Now that we got all the sugarcane, it is time to get the rest of the crops. I'm just starting to realize how ridiculous and how many crops I actually have, because this is a lot that I'm going to be having to move. And since it's going to be on a mountain, we're not going to have a water source just like a lake, so it's going to be really interesting trying to fit it all up there. You know, it would be really useful if I had shulkers, but once again, we're not going to be fighting the Ender Dragon until we build some really cool stuff in this world, just because if you beat the game kind of gets boring, and I want it to be as fun as possible for me. All right, now that we got all those crops, we can put them into this little house over here with the chest. And now we can go get the rest of the crops, which are just right here. All right, now that we got all the crops dug out, the next matter of business is actually taking out all of these houses and picking up this entire railroad that we made about 2 videos ago. So the first thing we're going to do is actually get rid of all these houses, and I will be able to use some of these resources from these houses, so this will be great. All right, and with that, the first house is dug up. Now I'm going to go start and putting a bunch of my resources back into the chest just so that I can start organizing all of the chests in my chest room. Now, since I'm going to be organizing this as well as getting rid of the rest of the village, I'm not sure if we're going to completely finish all this today, but since I do have all those cows that I have killed in the past, I should have enough leather to make a good amount of item frames. The thing is, once again, we're just going to have to find where it is because I just, don't have anything organized. And there you guys see we have about 5 stacks of leather, which is absolutely absurd. It's actually 5.5. So I will have no issues with making item frames. Now the issue is just finding sticks, which is the ridiculous part. I should have all of the wood in the world, but I just do not. All right, these 3 chests are going to be cobblestone. These 3 as well. Actually, let's make 9 double chests of just cobblestone. Let's move it sideways just because I like the look of it being sideways better. Then this will be regular stone. What are some other blocks that I have that are like earthy? We have dirt, andesite, gravel. So let's put 3 of these. We're going to need a lot of dirt ones because I'm going to be getting a lot of dirt soon. So we got some more item frames as well. This is all going to be dirt right here. Then we have gravel, which we can just use for 1 because gravel is not that useful in my opinion. That should be pretty good for right now. I do have some granite, but I won't be using granite a lot either. Now I think I'm going to do some of the food because I need to get rid of it from in here just so all these chests are getting organized a little bit better. And I think food is going to be on this complete other side just because it kind of makes sense. All right. This first one is going to be potatoes. Second one is going to be carrots. Third one is just going to be wheat seeds. We'll do 1 for leather, which we can put all of this in here. And we're going to put all these potatoes in here, these carrots in here. And I'm going to have a lot of eggs, but I don't want a bunch of eggs, so we're just going to put these in here. Then we can move all of this along. All right, now time to get all of the random stuff just out of these chests that is not actual cobblestone. And so if this is like earth items, this could be like woods, this could be other stuff. And then I honestly feel like this could just be random stuff. But once again, I don't want to just do random stuff. So we might just do like one for each thing that I have. But in order to do that, once again, I need to go get more wood because this game and wood just hates me in all honesty. So we're going to go grab some more wood real quick. Man, I got to say one thing I love about spruce trees, actually a couple things, is they're my favorite wood, first of all. They also are insane for collecting a good amount of wood in like a short period of time instead of like oak trees and other stuff that are like wonky trees that look weird. And like you have to mine multiple different parts of the tree. Yeah, spruce is just by far the best because you have to mine only this little part. Spruce and jungle both are really good for mining, but spruce is way better looking than jungle wood ever will be. And you guys can find me in the comments if you want, but someone had to say it. And you guys are also probably wondering, since I'm taking out that whole village part down there, what am I going to do to like make an entryway into my main part of the base, which I'm going to probably make a stairway out of this top part or like a ladder coming up. And then once all of this is mined out, I'm actually going to put a dock area right here, just so like I have a little dock area to go into the lake and whatnot. See, and with only 2 trees done, we have a stack and a half of spruce wood. Also, guys, leave a comment down below once again if you guys want different music, because I know my music in my videos is getting kind of repetitive, but I can't find anything else. And I was just wondering if you guys wanted me to just put Minecraft music in the background, so it's more of a, like a chill video instead of it being like super fast paced or something like that. Whatever you guys want, I am willing to do. So just leave comments down below. Also, like if you guys want certain editing stuff or anything like that, just leave a comment down below just so I know I can get the best performance out of these videos. And that is 4 trees dug out, so I'm just going to plant the rest of these saplings because we're going to need more wood once again. All right, now that they're all planted, we can go and use all this wood for the better of this world. Now we need to go grab some of the leather, which I know exactly where to find it. We can make a bunch more item frames. So this is going to be more of the miscellaneous sections, so I'm just going to put frames on each one of these chests, and we are going to be able to use that as a way to put just random stuff over here, because once again, I want it to be organized, but you're still gonna have a bunch of random stuff for no apparent reason. All right, so now that we got everything out of that chest, let's just put all these random things in one little thing. So we can put all of this in here, we can put all of that in there, string in here, rotten flesh in there, bones in here, arrows in this one, and then some of these other things can actually go back here. So this is andesite, so we're gonna put andesite in there. Gravel is right here. Dirt blocks are in here, but it doesn't really matter which dirt blocks I put in there because they're all the same basically. My eggs can go back in here, and I can actually use some of these item frames over here to do all the rest of the foods and like seeds and whatnot. So I think right here we're gonna do a whole thing of sugarcane because I love sugarcane. Here we can do apple. These go in here. All of this does not go in here. And copper is up top, so I'm gonna put all that in there. Grab all this. Now that will be jungle. This will be spruce. We're gonna do 2 spruce. Dark oak saplings. Then over here we can put spider eyes. I know we're gonna need a lot of gunpowder, so I'm gonna do 2 gunpowders just for good measures. This will be a chest of chests, which is kind of weird, but kind of makes sense at the same time. And then we can make a leaf litter because I don't really care about leaves. And that kind of fits into that section. I can grab all of this. Grab all of these. Well, I can't grab all of them, but it's not a bad problem. Put wool in there. Torches. Can do ender pearls. I honestly don't need this boat, so I'm just gonna get completely rid of it. Some of this stuff is stone blocks, so I'm just gonna put all of this stone stuff in here. Grab all of this. More copper, the worst thing in the game in all honesty. More bones. We got clay. Disgusting terracotta. Put flint here. Gonna put coal here. Back over to andesite. Put that in there. Put the stone blocks in there. Gravel the rest of this andesite. Put gravel in here. Dirt. I know I probably won't get a lot of flowers, but eventually I might use them for stuff. So we're just gonna put flour right there. Put all of our coal, flint. Now I'm gonna start putting item frames over here for wood. We're gonna actually use more of this. And then go grab the rest of the leather. Make the last amount of item frames. And place them on this whole wall. All right, in all honesty, I'm just gonna put these item frames in here because it's leather. It's basically all leather. Now, spruce is gonna be my most used wood, so I'm gonna actually use 3 of these for it. And then dark oak will be this one. I'll need to get a bunch of other stuff, but back here I can do dark oak wood, spruce planks, birch. This one I'll put oak, put that in there. All right. That is looking really good. Now, I'm just gonna have to take all of this stuff from the chest over here and move it over there. All right. Now, I don't know what else to put over this area, but we're gonna put soul sand right here, and then we can put netherite in there. I'm going to go put all the valuable stuff up in my main room because, once again, why would I want that in my chest room when I can have it in my main room? So that will go in here. And we finally got a jungle sapling. I'm pretty sure we can put that. Oh, we already have one up here. Can put these name tags in the miscellaneous. Doors, bow, stone cutter. Chicken can come over here. I can put the rest of the phantom membrane in here. Dirt and cobblestone. So we're going to go back over here and put cobblestone back in these. All right, now all the cobblestones are in those first two chests. More dirt goes over here. We're going to have to put this wood in the oak wood sometime, but we don't have the stuff for it yet. So I think I'm going to go grab all of the seeds and stuff like that because I already have like all of the food and other stuff set up. So I can start taking from this stuff in here to go put it into those chests. Put that in. We don't care about those. I'm gonna put this in there. We'll eventually get back to all of that, but I'm just gonna move all of this stuff, and I have a bunch of food chests in the that little area too that I have to move along. So yeah, this whole process is so excruciating, especially with the fact that I don't have those little things that carry multiple things and you can hold them in your inventory. I forget what they're called. Shulkers. If I had shulkers, this whole process would be so much easier. Oh my gosh, I messed it up. All right, this goes in here. Carrots go in here. Potatoes go in here. All my wheat, seeds. Now, this is really boring for you guys, I bet, so I'm just gonna go back and forth without talking and just get all of the seeds and other like food and stuff and just put it in there so you guys don't have to watch this long and excruciating thing of me doing all this. Pork can go down here. All right, so I got all the chests from my other little place and I've organized everything except for the woods. So I'm just gonna do these last little bits of woods. I think there are another couple wood types or something like that, but for right now, this is good enough. I do need to put jungle wood right here. I do need to make some oak wood for right here. It's gonna fit in those three, but besides that, basically everything else is filled out. Gonna put that in there. Oh, actually we could do sticks right here. And then whatever else I can fit right there, I will. But everything else is organized. We do have two miscellaneous chests over there, which is the phantom membrane and that. And then we do have a like another type themed chest right there. But everything else is organized to what it is. I also put like stuff that is in that same thing in there. So for example, I think it was in here. Yeah, I put in mossy cobblestone because it's still cobblestone in my opinion. And like stone, I have stone stairs, everything. It just makes it a lot more simple, not so many more chests that I would have to put in here. But honestly, it looks pretty freaking good with what I've done. And now that I have done it, I can move this stuff because I will no longer be needing it down here. And this is all open. It's like a store kind of. Now there are some more things I need to do. I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna grab, I think there's a little bit more stuff in this house. So we're gonna grab some of this. And then, yep, as you guys can see, there's some more stuff in there. There's nothing else in any of the chests over here, I don't think. We're gonna go check the iron farm. I did see an iron golem before, but I don't know if it produced while I'm away. So maybe I have to be in the chunks for it to render, even though I have a chunk loader. But, you know, sometimes it might not work. But we will see how much iron we are at. Oh my gosh. Okay, well that is a lot more iron than expected. Now I'm gonna take off this pathway because we're gonna have to use it for when we move all of the villagers. And I think I'm gonna move the villagers into my little basement area as my house, just so it's all in one area. And this way, removing this railroad, I can get rid of everything else. All right, now we're gonna go take all of this, organize it real quick, and then we're gonna go kill all of the animals. All right, now that we got everything organized and all put together, I'm gonna actually come kill all of the chickens, but first I'm gonna put a bunch of the eggs in here just so I can reuse them to make the other farms up on the upper layer. All right, we're gonna go to sleep real quick, then go grab all the eggs, kill all the chickens, and then we can start moving our farms up above. All right, so I just killed all the chickens. Don't ask questions. We need to move it all up here to a new farm area. So what I'm doing is building a staircase actually up this side of the mountain so that I can transport a good amount of these pigs, a good amount of cows over there, and then a good amount of the sheep, just so that I can keep some of them. I don't need all of them because it's a lot. I just need enough so that I can start breeding them again and basically just having them in case I need them. For example, like if I need a bunch of wool for a project, I can use the sheep for a bunch of wool. Or if I need a bunch of leather, then I can just use a bunch of leather from killing cows. So it just makes it a lot easier with stuff later in the game, basically. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm making this tall staircase, which I'm gonna have to break down eventually because I'm gonna be getting rid of all of this lower area. But for now, this will have to do to transport all of these little guys around. All right, and there I go. We've made it up. Now, I do have a bunch of little farms over here, which you guys have not seen since the first episode back. So I'm planning on maybe just having like cows and chickens like in this little area right here. Once again, I can always move them because it's not that hard to move them around, but I think that's what we're going to start with. I'm going to just cut down all of these trees. Just give me a little extra space in this area. And we are going to get rid of this old village right here as well, but I just don't want to do that right now. All right, now that I cut out all of those trees, I'm going to go grab some dirt to actually try and flatten out most of this area. And I can do that just by cutting out most of this right here and then just adding back the dirt on this other side. All right, well, we finished the stairway, and now I'm going to go grab a bunch more resources to start building these pens. And then I'm actually going to grab all of these just walls and fences right here and go take them up to the top and then start doing all of the other things. All right, so I grabbed some dirt, and now I'm going to go grab and mine all of these fences right here. I'm going to need some stuff for attracting all the animals. So each one is a different thing. So I'm going to bring some carrots, some wheat, and we actually don't need any of this, which will be great because then I can just use the other stuff to get all of the other animals up there. Now I don't have to jump over that annoying wall all the time, getting back and forth from place to place. I should have grabbed some torches while I was up here or down there, but just completely forgot to. All right, now that we got this big flat layer built and kind of terraformed off, it's not all the way terraformed off, but it's just a little bit just so I can start working on it. I'm going to start actually using this area, and I'm going to start putting down my walls and stuff for all of my animals. Now, the biggest one is going to be for the probably cows and sheep. So it'll be this one. So those are going to be for the sheep and for the cows. Now these ones are going to be for the pigs. Those are going to be for the pigs. And this one is going to be for the chickens. There we go. And that is all of the different little areas for all the other things. And now we can finally do the last part and move them all in here. So what I'm going to do, come down, grab my carrots, and we're going to grab this. And then we're going to get all of this and slowly bring them up. I'm going to make 2 or 3 runs, but we do not need that many animals once again. That should actually be good enough. Now look at all the pigs. Now I can just kill the rest of these guys. All right, now that we killed most of the cows, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to put a bunch of this food and stuff away. And then I'm going to grab a bunch of more. I'm going to grab a bunch of eggs and other stuff so I can go throw them and make more little things. And I'm also going to grab a bunch of seeds just so I can breed all of these little guys after I am done with moving them all up. So what I'm going to need is a good amount of wheat. I'm going to need a good amount of carrots and some seeds. And we can put that in there. We'll just put the egg. Well, actually, we're going to just keep these eggs anyways. And then we can come back over here and we can put some more of this in here. Put all of this in here and just keep these little bits of fences. Now we can head back over, grab some eggs, and get all of the chickens going now. Now, once again, we won't need too many chickens because they're kind of basically useless except for XP as of right now. So we'll just throw some in here and then call it a day. All right, and there we go. We have a little army of chickens right there. And now I can come feed these pigs over here just so they start going. Now it is time to come down and grab all of the cows and sheep. But first, let's mine all of this walls just so we have them. All right, I killed a bunch of cows and now it's time to just drag them along. And I know 90% of these dudes are gonna fall off the staircase, which is completely fine. I probably should have put things on the side so they can't fall off, but you know, we build and don't think. That's part of the process, for me at least. Let's get these guys going up. I just need at least 4. So if as long as 4 of you guys can come up, that would be great. I think I got a little bit more than 4, but we will just see when we get up there. I'm gonna bring them all in here. Bring them to this corner. We're gonna just start breeding them just so that we can get as many cows out as once again as possible. Now I can just kill the rest of them. But first of all, we got to go put a bunch of more meat and other stuff into the chests because we have so much meat and leather and just other stuff. And especially since all this chickens and eventually these sheep, it's going to just be ridiculous. We got all of that put away. Now we're going to go grab all of these sheep and go take them up as well. Once again, we're going to need to do a little bit of cleanup before we take them up because if I don't, then they're just going to flood the whole lower part and it's just going to be a mess of sheep. All right, and that should be good enough. I'm going to actually use a bunch of this for carpet. Come put that in there. Come over and put all this raw mutton in here. And now we can take most of the sheep to their home away from home. Grab out this. Just follow me, guys. Right this way. I'm going to lead all these guys hopefully in here. Hopefully they will all just come right in. Now we're going to wall this off. And feed all these guys. Put some torches on this outside part. Just light this little bit of area up. Gonna put some on these cows back here. All right, and there we go. We got it all organized. We got all cows, animals, and sheep in here. And now all we have to do is just enjoy them and breed them a little bit more. All the baby chickens are gone, but that's okay. And once all these guys grow up, I can raise them all, but this area looks pretty darn good. I'm pretty happy with my progress today. We got a bunch of animals now up there. We destroyed most of the pens that are down here. We organized all of the chests, and we started getting rid of some houses, even though I only got rid of one. But now that we have everything out of the way, now I can literally just focus on getting rid of all the houses and everything else in between. But for right now, I think I'm just going to kill all these animals that are down here. Well, I just organized everything back in here. My inventory is completely empty, and I love it being that way. But that is going to be it for today's video. I know this is a little bit later than usual. I've just been really busy with everything. Editing is taking me a bit longer than usual as well. So yeah, once again, thank you guys for watching so much. Once again, if you have any ideas for any music or anything, or any ideas to builds or anything like that, make sure to comment them down below. Also, leave a like and subscribe if you guys did enjoy the content. Remember, watching all the way to the end of the video helps me out so much. So if you've watched part of my other videos but you haven't finished them yet, make sure to go watch them all the way. Once again, thank you guys for taking time out of your day to watch my videos, and I love you all, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace, guys.